hate's not a word I use, but I certainly think that we're going to be emotional about our performances, and I'm angry about last week, personally. I mean, I've played plenty of games, and I don't suffer losing, but I can't sit here and pretend like 4 or 5 days later that I'm happy and it's all forgotten, So I'm angry, and I know the players will be in the same space. You've got to have that anger about your own personal performance. In the end, you get a great opportunity to play against the most consistent team in the world, and that's how you benchmark yourself. So if you come up short and you're a competitive guy, then you've got to actually say, well, what am I going to do about that? So that's how I played it. When you come up against the best, it was the best way to work out where you stood in the real world. So for me, it's last week was not a great outcome on the scoreboard. There were bits and pieces in there which I was happy with, but in the end, the scoreboard's the only thing that anyone will judge the game on, and that's what history's going to judge the game. But it's a chance to you've got to take the emotion out of that performance and do something about it the next week. So emotion's got to be in it. Hate's not a word that I use, but there's got to be emotion in terms of how you respond. It's called a test match for a reason. It's a test. We came up short in the test last week, so now it's a test of character.
Yeah, I've played a few times and haven't been that successful, so I'm more than hungry enough to get a win against these guys, especially over here. Great opportunity for us.
What do you think it's going to take though to do that?
Probably that last 30 minutes. We're happy with a lot of areas of our game last Saturday night, but obviously we gave away 47 points. And that's not acceptable in Wallaby standards. And the game before that was the last game of the Lions series, and we gave away a few points there too. So a lot of areas that we need to tidy up. That's how we respond this week.
It is the mental part of the game is very important. And I sit here and think, the All Blacks have earned the right to be the most complacent team in world rugby, but they're not. So they front up, and there's enough pressure, and there's enough whatever it is that drives them to get out there and be on the ball and switched on. There's that motivation. So other teams in the world have got to find the same space. That's what you're competing against, and they've got every right to not turn up every now and then because because of the consistency they've shown. So we're going to understand that. You've got to compete with those. You've got to compete in the same space. You've got to find that space, and you've got to look everywhere. And it's not a matter of just looking on the training paddock. You've got to look away from the training field, and you've got to search, and everyone's got to search deep inside themselves and work out where you are. So that's what you've got to do to compete against the best.
Well, I guess when you get to the bench, you hope that to go to the next level. So it was a bench last week, and we knew that probably I was one spot away. So I guess
I'd say several years ago.
Yeah, definitely. You didn't think this would come, but honoured to start for my country and really looking forward to it.
Physical contest, isn't it? So you need that. So I wasn't worried. I mean, with a human man, he does the same. He performs the same role. And he's injured, but Scott's been doing a fantastic job in that space the last couple of years at the elite level. So you need that. You need a balance across. You need everyone to be competitive. It's not just one guy's not going to go out there and save the day. It's about everyone being competitive. So everyone's got to aim up in those spaces. Attack and defence. It's not just about one person, but it's a physical game, isn't it? So you've got to front up.